Mr. Camilleri, it is an honor to have you here in this forum. Thank you very much. My first question is, the ICD is running an initiative on multiculturalism in the moment. Language plays an important role in a multicultural country as Malta. What is your country doing to preserve the own culture and language, but also to integrate other cultures and linguistic groups?
First of all, I must say that our own language is the result of multiculturalism. So essentially, whilst the very basis of our language is Semitic in origin, yet it has got all the kind of influences, especially coming from the cultures, the countries which have been either closely associated with us or to which we are very closely exposed. So the language itself is very open, I would say, to multiculturalism and is a product of multiculturalism. Having said that, I think we, as a country, as a very small country, I think we are unique in this sense in the Mediterranean. We've got such a small country with its own language, a language in its own right, with its own literature, a language that is still very much alive. I mean, it is spoken language. It is a language that is a taught language as well. It's a language with its own very vibrant and I would say quite productive literature. So the language is there, it's alive and kicking. As a country, of course, we're doing all in our power to preserve that and to, of course, encourage people to respect the language, to of course, to even on an international level, we've done our bit. For example, Maltese is one of the official languages of the European Union, and when we were basically negotiating European Union membership, we did negotiate that, and as a result, it has been accepted as an official language of the European Union. So to us, our language is basically very indicative, very indicative of our national heritage and national identity. And that is extremely important to us, and I think that is something we need to safeguard and cherish, really.
I'm going to put the paper here. So for my part, my question is, Malta is the smallest country in Europe, and with its geographical position, it functions as a bridge between Europe and North Africa. How powerful do you feel in the European institutions, especially when it comes to issues regarding the conflicts in North Africa?
I don't think it's a question of power, it's a question of credibility. We have certainly served as a very honest broker and a trusted broker, and I think that is something that is very important, especially when it comes to international relations. So when it comes, you mentioned Libya, for example, when it comes to these recently the conflict in Libya, I mean, and these relationships, once you are a trusted partner, a partner who would garner a certain amount of respect, credibility for its role, I think that is extremely important, and that is sometimes even more important than having some power that would come from something else. So we have the power of persuasion in this case, we have the power of trust in this case, we have the power of credibility, and that is extremely important for us.
Thank you very much. The last question will be regarding the current situation in Malta and the snap election next year. What do you expect in terms of policies, and what do you hope for?
Well, I think the political situation is a normal part of the democratic process. I mean, we are a democracy, a very vibrant democracy at that. So. And elections are a part of our regular, I would say, milieu. So that is extremely important for us. When it comes to policy, on the most important areas of our economic and social life, I would say there is a cross-party consensus. So if you look at, for example, certain important areas like financial services, areas like education, areas like health, there is so much convergence across the political spectrum that I would say that whichever party would form the next government, we shall certainly, not see radical changes in the years to come, because there is the emphasis across parties is on stability and continuity, and especially within the context of the current international turmoil, that is extremely important. We are a small, open economy. We are totally dependent on the international marketplace, and of course, when you have when you're so dependent, so exposed, so vulnerable in certain ways, and of course the fact that you have this continuity, this amount of stability in policy, I think that is extremely important, and that is something which most politicians, or all politicians in this case, have recognized and have accepted, and that is, I believe, the way the way things are being projected. It's a question of stability. It's a question of continuity in most areas.